According to Tamra Jackson-Ziems, Nebraska Extension plant pathologist, seedling diseases are being reported in the Kansas corn crop. Seedling diseases can infect the plant and cause seed rot or kill a plant altogether. Symptoms of seedling diseases include poor stand establishment or skips in the rows. We sat down with Tamra at a recent Nebraska Extension training program to learn more about the symptoms and ways to avoid seedling diseases.
Well, we're beginning to get reports out of Kansas that seedling diseases are occurring down there in corn, and so it would be a good reminder to remind all of our producers and crop consultants in Nebraska that we do have a lot of seedling diseases that are possible, and we've had some problems with them over the last several years. When we start to see seedling diseases, it's usually after we've had some kind of inclement weather conditions or any conditions that are not that favorable for rapid corn emergence and germination. And so anything that delays that, whether maybe those seed were planted into cold soil or maybe we got a lot of rain and had some ponding and wet conditions. And in particular, wet conditions are going to be more favorable for seedling diseases. And so those fields where you may have some ponding or you may have soil types that hold water for longer, they may be at higher risk for some of these diseases, and I would definitely keep an eye on those fields.
We further asked Tamra about the symptoms these seedling diseases cause.
Seedling diseases can affect plants in a lot of different ways. They may infect plants and actually cause a seed rot before the seed germinate. They can actually kill the plant itself, though, either before or after it emerges. And so when you're out checking fields and you don't see very good stand establishment, or you see skips or gaps between healthy plants, it would be worth the time to dig down through there to find out exactly what happened to that seedling, whether it may have been affected by a seedling disease or another problem. And then, of course, to calculate how much of a stand you've got and whether or not you might need a replant.
While checking a field for seedling diseases, it could be difficult to identify which disease is causing the damage.
Some of our most common seedling diseases in corn are caused by Pythium, and that's a fungal-like organism. That organism has to have moisture, and so that's the one that's been most common for us during the last 2 or 3 years where we've had wetter conditions. And so ponding is especially going to be favorable for that. And there are species of Pythium that are favored by either cool or warm conditions. In addition to Pythium, though, other common diseases may be caused by Fusarium or Rhizoctonia. And so any of these are possible in the soils around Nebraska. And it's difficult to tell them apart for any one. And even though there are some symptoms that you might recognize, the easiest way maybe is to just get a sample submitted to the UNL Plant and Pest Diagnostic Clinic to find out what that is.
When it comes to managing seedling diseases, it is important to pay attention to soil temperature and the amount of moisture obtained during the planting season.
Managing seedling diseases can be a challenge, and so as we try to plant more and more acres and we push the planting date, we're planting into soils that might be cooler or wetter, and we need to keep that in mind. So if you know you have a field or fields that are more prone to having seedling diseases, even waiting another few days to plant that, or waiting until last to plant some of those higher pressure fields, might give you an advantage and give those plants a chance to grow and emerge before those pathogens infect them. In corn, since most of our corn is already treated with seed treatment fungicides, we don't always have an opportunity to make decisions about adding a product there, but just by manipulating planting date, we can sometimes help that. And in some fields where we've got a drainage problem, sometimes tiling may help too.